Hey, how you doing? We never met before, but I want to sit down with you and talk to you because it's time for you to hear this message. If someone gave you this video, it's because they love you and they want you to be the best you. Now, whoa. Before you go into defense mode, I just want you to hear me out. You know, it's not easy being a man. It's not. You're going to go through some of your greatest challenges just to define that gender, being a man. As you already know, there is no book that for your life that says this is what you need to do to be who you want to be. A lot of things are going to be discovered by really going on autopilot. But I'm here to tell you, there is a way. There's a true way. I know that you've probably gone through some setbacks and you've had a lot of pain that you've had to embrace and endure, and deep down inside your heart and your mind, you're like, hey, I'm just trying to make it. I gotta bury my emotions, but I really don't want to because that's not who I am. That's why I'm sitting down with you right now. And I'm here to let you know everything's gonna be okay. But there's some things that you must do on your part. There's some things that you've got to do. There's some things that you haven't seen, or the view that you've got is kind of off tilt. Some of you are brilliant and don't even know how to express your creativity because you've been bombarded with mistrust. Sometimes you may feel like someone is literally, every time you turn around, they have sacrificed you for their entertainment, or they don't get you. You may feel like you're an outsider or an outcast, but deep down inside, you know there's something about you that sets you apart from everyone else. If someone sent you this message, this video for you to look at, you thank them. This is a conversation that you should have had a long time ago. Because if you had gotten this, you may have made some decisions not to take certain choices and directions that caused you pain. So, you're probably wondering, well, who am I? My name is Youll Davis. I'm a life coach and an aspiring psychologist. Whoa. Don't go into defense mode just yet. I come from a position of love. I say that, no, I ain't gay. I'm not gay. I'm telling you this because I'm trying to save you from having to go through unnecessary pain and blocks because of your position, the way that you see the world. I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I've made, which caused me 25 years to get to where I am now. No, I didn't get locked up. No, I don't have babies all over the place. No. It took me that long to see my value and self-worth. And I'm telling you that for a reason. I know deep down inside you just want to be happy. You just want to be loved. You just want to feel emotionally safe with your family ties and your environments. But there's some things going on with you emotionally that makes you feel unvalidated. And you're tired of feeling that way. I'm here to tell you, brother. I'm here to tell you. You ain't got to go out like that. You ain't got to go out like that. But you do have to make some decisions. Make it today. Make it today that today is the day that, I said it 3 times, that you are going to be happy. And you're going to roll your sleeves up. And you're going to do the work that defines your life. You do understand. That's not who you were. You were acting out. You were rebelling. You was trying to find your place in the world. And you made some mistakes. But you got back up as best as you knew how. And you kept moving. But some of you are walking around with a big old hole in your heart. You're not supposed to, brother. Your name should not be connected to strife, pain, feeling alone, and worse, like your life don't matter, because it does. You're here to do a job. But what anyone tells you, you're here to do a job. But as I tell my subscribers, and I hope that you'll become one, I've got a lot of videos I put out about my experiences, but here's the key to it all. You've got to embrace your spirituality. Whoa, hold on. Come on now. Just hear what I'm telling you. Sometimes, no, actually, one of the things that you'll come to understand, for the best form of communicating with anybody on this planet, you've got to be willing to listen. Especially when it's in your best interest. See, no one can do it. I can't make you happy. You make yourself happy. That's why the things that you're going through, the things that come up out of the blue, the things that you never saw or placed yourself in situations that you thought you wouldn't have to compromise yourself. Why? Because what's missing, my brother, is that spiritual connection that you have. Now, my spiritual connection is with my Lord Jesus Christ. And I'm going to tell you why. You're looking at a man for at least 15 years. I lost my smile. I lost it. I mean, it was so intense that I didn't even know I was doing it. And I can't tell you how many people countlessly told me, why won't you smile? I had this scowl on my face. And ain't nothing more crazy. It'll be 7 o'clock in the morning, and you got somebody salty. Like, darn, who pissed them off this early? Why? All the while, little do they know, it's because their self-worth and self-value has been compromised. Here's another reason that you might want to hear what I got to say. You're getting tired of going through women. You're getting tired. You just want the one to walk with you. You want that one that's going to be loyal, that's going to build you up, that's going to be there when you're going through tough times. She's always going to never lie to you. She's going to always tell you the truth, even when it's hard. Why? Because she has your back. Well, do you want her? The one? Well, if you want her in your life, you've got to make a choice to reinvest in yourself. You got to take a position, take a step back in your life, put your emotions on the table, and go through each and every one of them. You have to. And I'm gonna leave that point right there, because I'm gonna go here. Some of you guys' biggest challenge is this one right here, because you've given up on yourself and don't believe in yourself for one single fact. You don't have a relationship with your dad. And you're mad at him. You've been mad at him since you were a child. Maybe because he left. Maybe because It didn't work out with you, with your mother and your father. And you had this feeling of guilt and abandonment, and you're saying to yourself, how could someone that is supposed to protect me just walk away? Why did you do this to me? That's what that little boy in your heart is telling you. Just know this. Unless you know why, because let me tell you what, I know your mother's going to tell you, well, daddy did this. And daddy's going to tell you, if you have a relationship, well, I did this because of that. All I'm saying is this. Let's just say just by chance, they were no good for each other. They knew it, but they knew that the sole reason why they came to be together was out of love. And that love was you. That was the only reason why they came together. That's why, that's the reason. So be proud, because when you move all the gunk, all the negative energy out of that, you really see the people that really love you. But it is not your right or your responsibility to walk around with a position of hatred or anger. Some of y'all been carrying this anger since your childhood because of what your daddy did not do for you. Little did you know what was being revealed. Because when you see your worth and see your value, you'll come to a place in your spirit where you'll understand that you'll stand this. Maybe by chance your father could not be the father that you needed. And in his way, not to justify, he felt the best thing that he could have done was to step out of your way so the right man could come in to raise you. You ever thought about it that way? Or worse, look at it in reverse. What if he had stayed, and how would that have impacted your development? It could have been worse. And that's real talk, brother. That's real talk. But one thing I've come to learn about my higher power is my Lord Jesus Christ. God don't make mistakes. He don't. And sometimes we're not supposed to challenge or try to figure out what God has done. There is a reason for everything. Please believe that. But what you need to do, I suggest, you got to put boundaries around your life. Listen to your instinct. You know how they say instinct? But really it's called discernment. What does that little boy in you say when you put yourself out there to the world? Does it say, don't do this, don't go over there? And every time that you decide not to do that, something happens. Why? Because that's the Holy Spirit trying to protect you. Don't you realize you're loved by God? But you define your steps. That's why we have free will. You can't turn around and take a position of the world owes you. The world don't owe you nothing. But God felt that you were going to be prepared and going to be strong enough to deal with it. That is why you can't be sitting on the fence. Some of you, for some reason, are so terrified in your spirit that you don't even see your worth. You don't even want to work. It's like but you love your mama though, don't you? Why don't you make your mother the proudest mom she can be and stand up and be the best man you can? Because guess what? The people that love you see who you are and where you're going. But you got to believe in yourself. You got to trust your heart. Guide your steps. That's what defines a leader from a follower. If your environment, if your boys, your homies are not growing, well, guess what? Secretly, they don't want you to grow. They want you to stay right there in the misery. But that's not your calling, brother. You owe the world your name. You owe the world your purpose and direction. You got to grab it. You got to define it. Is it going to happen overnight? No. There's so many things about your life that you've got natural born talents that you haven't even tapped into because you're not mature yet. There's a process. So stop stunting your journey. Stop stunting your growth. Look, some of y'all are bona fide millionaires and don't even know it. Some of y'all are going to impact the world in such a profound way, you're going to leave your mark on it. But that will never happen until you see your worth, until you start loving yourself. Listen here, brother. Listen. Because I'm telling you, brother, I done been there. And when you look back, you look at all the time you wasted on foolish things and people that wasn't trying to have your best interest, that were really using you. That's what now come to learn. A man will never get played if he trusts his spirit. And that's what separates those who have and those who do not. That's why I tell my subscribers, energy out is energy in. Because the person, what your heart holds is what your reality is going to be. So if you're around people if you're going through a season where people, all they do is exploit you, you got females that only come around because they just want to drain your sexual energy. You do understand, the more that you give yourself to women, or well, no, they ain't women, they're little girls, that ages you. It takes away from you being with your wife that you have not met. All that passion and desire and love, that's for her. You wouldn't want her to be with someone doing that to her, but you're giving it freely. Don't you see your worth? Do you realize how priceless your life is? The people that love you are going to tell you the truth. And the people that don't have your interest are going to set you up to fail each and every time. You see it. You've gone through. You probably just went through it last week. That's why you're looking at this video now, because it's time for you to change it up. You're going into 2014. You're going to have a new set of challenges, a new set of understanding and direction. You have to claim it, brother. Stop being like those little boys on the block. Guess what? You know what's so funny? Because if you decide to go off of what you see on the TV, what you see on the video, what you hear on the songs, that is all nothing but illusion. Okay? At your expense. I know you're smarter than that. I know you are. So why are you falling for the okie doke? Why? Why are you allowing yourself to be around people that are pretty much are waiting to stab you in the back? Because they see something in you that they want bad, that they want so bad, but won't do it for themselves. Come on now. Come on now. It's time for you to get control of that fear that you got. Okay, let's spin it. Because some of you are fathers now. And you ain't happy. You want to be in your child's life. Some of you have that connection and some of you don't. Okay, number one, I'm going to tell you something. You're a father. It is imperative that you define your steps. Everything that you do, your child is going to learn. And they're going to imitate. They're going to emulate that. So what I'm saying is, if you don't want your child to look at you like you look at your dad, Because what you're looking at is a generational curse. That's what I just described. Because you're going off of limited knowledge, but you're not there yet. But guess what? Because we're men, naturally, we let our pride and our ego to get in front of the judgment. It blinds us. And you end up making costly mistakes. But let me tell you something. And I say this out of love, brother, because you deserve to have the life intended. What you put in it is what you get out of it. But let's go back to the parental aspect. Let's just say you don't have a relationship with your child. You don't have a relationship with your child's mother. Number one, give her the respect due. She's the mother of your child. She's not your baby mama. Society came up with that tag. They did that. They put that out there to more or less subtly disrespect who you are. Why? Because they knew that you were gonna. They know that you don't see your worth. So stop using that terminology. She is the mother of your child. You owe her that much. But also know this. You also attracted her in your life. You both got the same mindset. You know how they use the theory that opposites attract? No, it doesn't. Like-minded attracts like-minded. So, if you was out there cheating on her, being deceptive, doing all kind of things that you know you wasn't raised that way, well, guess what? She probably has shown you that by her actions, and it hurts. It hurts her. One thing I've come to learn about women, and a lot of men, well, a lot of guys, because there's guys and there's men. Men learn from their mistakes and they use that insight to form wisdom. But one thing I've come to learn about when you have a child, the relationship of your child with your mother, the mother of your child, is this. Your focus should be on raising that child. First of all, it's not about your ego or pride, it's about that child. And that they are properly going to develop mentally. That's why it's not good to, when you have to talk to the child's mother, to argue in front of them. Why? Because what happens is they're going to think that's acceptable behavior. You can't give them that. You focus on yourself. Make you the best you can be. And guess what? A lot of those things that she's fussing about, it'll stop. Because those are the things that she really wanted to see out of you to begin with. But just know this. Being a good father and a good partner are two different things. So if you guys were together and you were intimate and your child came from that connection, you gotta own this. You guys were never friends. You never were. But here's the beautiful thing about this. That child will serve as the bond between the two of you. And as long as you're working on you, you will probably, no, what will happen will be two things. It will spark an influence so great within the child's mother that she will see you in a different light. She will actually appreciate you being in her life. And whatever broken habits or whatever bad habits or things that went wrong will eventually be smoothed out. But we know this, even if it doesn't, because it happens all the time, you still be focus on yourself. You be the best man you can be. Because trust when I say this, when you turn around and invest in yourself, what will happen is people will take notice. And he will bring somebody that will appreciate you. And I'm going to tell you what, the worst thing that you could do is put yourself in a position where you had someone that was good for you and you let them get away. Now the beautiful thing about that is, once again, the tie between you and your child's mother is forever. So if you guys were not friends, focus on the things that were challenging on your aspect. Work on how you communicate. Because some of you have this position, you want to live your life out like these videos. You're not a pimp. You're not a player. Because if you were a pimp or a player, which are two negative examples, at least with those guys, they've got their life in control. Now they suck when it comes to communication, and usually 9 times out of 10, because it was a negative influence, they end up losing far more than what they invested in, which more or less is, when it's all said and done, you go up to come down, and it's all taken away. So don't put yourself at risk. Don't do that. Your life is precious, bro. It is. So when you're going to start investing in yourself, when you're going to stop taking a position of denial, when you're going to start loving yourself, when are you going to start working on those dreams that you've been having? Yeah, those. Some of you got so many talents and don't even tap in them. Your parents tell you, your mom might have told you many, many times. People of significance are like, man, why don't you go for it? And you, because you're so broken, you're afraid to chase your dreams. But be realistic. Be realistic. And if it's divinely meant, it will come to pass, my man. It will. But you got to change the way you think. You got to change the perception that the perception that you got in your spirit. Because guess what? How's that been working out thus far? Huh? I know you tired. You tired of going to the club. See, the same old thing. Only thing you're going to find in the club is this right now. And if you don't have the boundaries of respecting yourself, guess what? The right one going to come and she going to lay a nice STD on you. And it may change your life forever. Don't put yourself at risk. Because I'm going to tell you something. Two broken people can't make a whole. It don't work that way. So when you hear people saying a relationship is 50-50, that is a lie. It takes 100%. What you put out is what you get in. And guess what? Even if you give 100% and it doesn't come to pass, guess what? It's not your loss. It's theirs. That's where that proverbial comes up of what one person won't do, another will. But make sure it's for the best. Some of you want to be homeowners. Some of y'all want what you see on TV. Well, guess what? Even though it's an illusion to a degree, it can also serve as an inspiration. It can also spark that having courage. But you must first be able to speak your truth. Speak from your heart, brother, not from your mind. Check your ego and check your pride and invest in yourself. And if your environment is not trying to build you up, guess what? Basically, your environment is saying, I don't respect you. I don't want you to grow because my life sucks. And since my life sucks, I don't want yours to better. Don't do that. Be the exception to the rule. So once again, if someone is giving you this video, it's because they love you. They want nothing but the best for you. But it does not start until you start loving yourself. Sure, you're going to have some challenges. You have to master these, so it's for your development. You can't be called a man. I don't care if you got a knot big as a darn porterhouse steak in your pocket. You'll never earn your respect that way. You won't. You'll end up inheriting the things that you don't need. That's why a fool and his money will soon part. P.T. Barnum. But you got to respect yourself, man. Don't get caught up with the distractions. Sure, there's nothing more alluring than seeing a woman. That's why that was one of God's gifts to man, woman. But if you're not in a position to truly be able to appreciate, cultivate, and nurture, they'll always come and go. Be the exception to the rule. Matter of fact, you get a chance, look up the group, The Temptations. I'm the exception to the rule. Listen to that song. Be the one. Be the one that they all admire. Be the one that they want in their lives positively. Don't worry, everything that you need will come in time. But it won't start until you invest in yourself. And if you take the time to, step by step, working on yourself. But let me backtrack 1 second, because I did not say this. For those who have been harboring the pain of because their fathers wasn't there or their mothers wasn't there, my brother, hear my words when I say this. You have to forgive them. You have to forgive. You're saying, why, Jerry? They weren't there. Okay, they weren't. But guess what? It was their loss. They wasn't there when you scraped your knee and you needed that attention. They wasn't there when you got that accolade in school. They wasn't there when you learned to ride that bike or you had to learn those things on your own. But guess what? They're paying for it because you can't get back that time. You can't get that time back. Time is precious. But it's important that you forgive them. You forgive each and every one of those people that hurt you deep. And I'm telling you why. It doesn't make you weak. It actually shows you strong. Because when you make a decision to forgive them, you release yourself from the pain. And you deserve to be happy. And I'm a firm believer of this. And I did not want to be winded. Sometimes, God will take people out of their lives, out of people's lives, because they're not emotionally, physically, or socially mature. So for the best interest of that person, they may pull them from there, only to let them learn and bring them back to make the impact needed. But we all have free will. And if you're in a situation where you have a parent that was absent and they're trying to come back in your life, look, you ain't got to open the door wide open, but at least crack it. Entertain the fact that they're trying to be in your life. They can never make up for the time that they lost. No. And trust and believe when I tell you this. Oh, there was many a sleepless night that they thought about you. There was many a conversation they had in their mind that they wanted to share with you. There was many a time that if they could turn back the hands of time, knowing the things that they know now, they would have done it different. Why? Because they love you. That's why you see it all the time. It don't matter how much money you got in your pocket. It don't matter what assets you got. It don't. What matters is time. That's what every child wants. I speak this because I know, brother. I've been through it. I have a daughter. She's not in my life. She's not. But not a day goes by that I don't think of her. I don't pray for her. In my mind, I talk to her because that's my heart. Though I was a financially responsible father, I've been like that since she was born. But I also know that I had to do the work for me. I want to be the father that she can say, that's my daddy. I'm proud of him. You owe that to your child. So if you're not in your child's life, then you need to make the steps, humble yourself, and get back in your child's life. Is it going to be easy in the beginning? Hell no, it ain't. Hell no, it's not. Why? Because they feel the same things that you feel, uncertainty. But guess what? Steady and consistency wins the race. Think about the tortoise and the hare. He was slow, but he didn't give up his faith. And he won. And I'm going to tell you what, that feeling, that angst you feel in your heart, that's your child. That's the love of your child that wants their daddy. And you deserve that, man. But on a different note, let me say this too, because I got to put it out there real quick. If your child's mother has made a decision to be in the life of another man, and she is happy, do not, I repeat, do anything malicious to sabotage her happiness. Even if that guy is not in her best interest, don't interfere in that. That is not your place. Don't. That is her life. And if it's divinely meant, guess what? God will bring you back together. Because He makes a way when there is no way. But even if that's not the case, you be the best father you can. Don't give up on your child, because your child is relying on your actions. And just know this. You know what it feels like. You know. So you don't want that cycle to repeat itself, because it will. And on a different note, if by chance the mother of your child is in a relationship and that man is doing everything in his power to ensure that she is happy as well as your child, you owe that man a thank you. You owe that man props. You owe that man total support. Check your ego, brother. Check your pride. Because the reality is, he's doing things that you wasn't. But he's doing it because he cares about your family, your daughter, your child. He ain't got to do that. You and I both know this. There is not, I repeat, there is not a line of men willing to step up and take care of other men's children. But for the select few, you give them the support, man. Don't be a pain in the ass. And just know when I say this, not only will she see you in a different light, she'll respect you. Because guess what? Instead of them two people fragmented trying to raise a child, you've got three that are giving nothing but love. So support that dude. And if it's divinely meant, guess what? God does what He does. And if it's meant, you guys will come back. But if not, you still have to do that for your life. Okay? I'm not trying to sound like your daddy, but I'm just trying to tell you, I done been there, brother. It's time for you to purge. Purge those negative feelings. Start loving on some you. Start tapping into that instinct, that discernment. I'm telling you, brother, your life is priceless. And if you trust Him with everything, two things are going to happen. The people that don't have your interest are going to reveal themselves if they have not, and you're going to say goodbye to them. But guess what? When they leave, that all that does is make room for the people that truly will make a difference in your life. Energy out is energy in. So, I hope You're going to be fine, man. You're going to be fine. Well, like I said, if you got this video right now, you need to thank the person who sent it to you. Because really, they love you. They want you to be happy. They're probably tired of seeing you in pain. But you've got to make the decision to make the changes, okay? You'll be fine. You'll see. This time next year, you look back, you'll be like, man, that brother was right. Because your life is destined to be happy. But on this note, I'm going to shut this off. And as I always say, God's praying for you. You know I am. I would love for you to be a subscriber. If you know somebody that may need to hear this, by all means, just put it out there. Because I'm a firm believer, we as a people is about each one teach one. And you deserve to be happy. So I hope that you have a safe and blessed day, okay? And I would love to hear from you. And like I said, bro, it's not easy being a man, but guess what? When it's all said and done, you'll be able to have your chin up, head high, because you're one of the good ones. Alright now, stay blessed, okay? Till we meet again. Bye.